And now we are now being joined by our guest. It is Chief Darlington Omoro. He is a security expert. Glad to have you join us on the Newspaper Review this morning. Good morning, by the way.
Good morning. My pleasure being here.
Okay, let's head to the stories making the rounds. Yeah, the issue of the fuels increase in the cost of premium auto spirit, as well as the other issues in the economy that has resulted into the high rate of premium auto spirit. We know the food inflation is already there, it's already high. Do you think it's going to have an impact in the security in the country?
when you increase the pump price for the premium motor spirit, that's the PMS, all other sectors of the polity will be grossly affected. Be it economy, be it socials, be it security, and all of that. Don't forget that this security equipment, particularly the vehicles, sometimes and most times they are also not exempted. It is either that they are using the PMS or they are using diesel, and so there's usually a budget for them, which comes up, at the beginning of every year to cover logistics and many other aspects. And if in between there is an increment in the cost, it meant that what was budgeted for apparently will not be able to carry for the 12 calendar months anymore. So what the government needs to do at such times is apparently to go back to supplementary budgeting to be able to cover for some of these areas. That's talking about security. Otherwise, the agencies know how to cover up to be able to meet up with these challenges, or this what you grossly want to refer to as shortfalls. But in this instance, there's no cause for worries, because there's always room for contingencies. And when they come, that vacuum will be immediately be filled up. And so there's no cause for worries. Apparently, it might not have that immediate effect on security. But aside from some agencies who would want to run to the policymakers in that agency to immediately speed up, I expedite action in the course of adjustments. Now, trying to make adjustments to suit the current situation of the day, as would have been affected by the increment of the PMS.
Okay, you've spoken about the equipment and the policies how would affect insecurity. Now, I'd like to know, do you think it will have an impact in the rate of crime in the country?
Positively or negatively?
Positively or negatively? Do you have an impact?
I don't think it will have any impact. What we are looking at now is the fighting of insecurity. I guess that's what you're referring to.
No, I'm saying it. Let me butt in again, please. I'm saying because I know that people are yet to have the 3 square meals, and then with the cost of food items, it will be on the increase. How will they be able to get money? And some people might just resort to crime rates. That's what I'm saying. Do you think this will happen?
It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse for anybody to get involved in a crime rate. If you're taken to court, the court will not admit that.
That's right.
In the course of looking into your matter to say because PMS got up and then you could not feed yourself as much as you wanted or at all, and then that was what pushed you into crime. There's no excuse for that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chief Darlington. Now, let me take you into the core of the security conversation. Recently, the Red Chamber and the Green Chamber has vetted the security chief that has been appointed by this administration. And when each of them were given the opportunity to speak, they all said what they were going to do in combating insecurity in the country. From your perspective as a security expert, What's your expectation from them, and what do you think? How do you think their promises that they've made is going to impact security, fighting insurgency in the country?
They can only achieve all they have said. These people, sorry, before I go into that, let me repeat what I have said in another television station.
Okay.
In other television stations and even radio. These security chiefs, including the chief of defense staff,
Yeah.
they are no strangers to the situation in Nigeria.
Okay.
They have been in the system. They have worked with the outgone chiefs. They were a part of the battle against insecurity in this country. And so it does not take them anything to be able to put on paper or tell Nigerians what they are prepared to do, because they've been in the system, they've been doing, and all they need to do is to improve. And now is their turn to take decisions and not to act on decisions taken by their superiors. And so it is common, and then people should understand that because these things have been in place, it is not a difficult thing for them to say they want to improve on what they met met on ground in terms of tackling insecurity.
So,
okay, but what we need, hang on please.
Yeah.
But what we should understand is that these people are no spirit. Security is the business of everybody who are resident in that community, taking Nigeria as a community now, reducing Nigeria to a community or a state. Everybody who is resident in that place is a security officer. First off, you have to be you are supposed to be the first security officer of yourself. And then because you do not have the power, the constitutional power to bear arms, it meant that you must work with those who bear arms so that they'll be able to do their jobs effectively. And how are you supposed to work with them? You are supposed to provide information that will be processed to transform to intel that they could work on. If you see strange movements, if you see strange people, if you see strange things, you report it to the appropriate authorities, and then they can now investigate, work on all of this and transform it to intel that will help them carry out their jobs effectively. But the problem here is that some persons apparently will see and look away. Sometimes some persons will see their neighbors being attacked and they look away. But you forget that your neighbor that is attacked today may not be the same neighbor that will be attacked tomorrow. Tomorrow it could be your turn. So we must all give them every necessary support. All the necessary support they need. These are persons who are in the sun and in the rain. Day and night they don't stay under any shelter in the course of chasing after criminals.
Just a quick one.
And terrorists.
Just a quick one. Speak about the importance of synergy in tackling security. A quick one in 1 minute, please.
There's nothing better than synergy. We have often told them that at each time we've had a training for some of them. One of the things you hammer on, that's why His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the new president, did talk about the clearinghouse. Okay, it is in another dimension. It's been there. Synergy, all the security agencies, they have a circle where they meet to deliberate. When you have one information, where duties are assigned to one person, you know where your box stop. There are constitutional provisions for your duties and responsibility as a security agency. And so you don't overlap into that of another. But even so, when you have an information, you share with the next agency that is supposed to handle it. That's why you have the clearinghouse. You table what you have. For instance, if it's about the movement of persons in and out of the country, criminals, it has to do with one body, and that body is the Immigration Service. If it's to do with checkmating the movement of illicit firearms in and out of the country, that is the pure responsibility of the customs agency. And then if it is we do with certain arrest and all of that, like the civil arrest within the society, that has to do with the police. And then when it comes to tackling the insurgents, and tackling terrorists, tackling bandits, and tackling all of this, it's a combination of all of these agencies and the military.
All right.
Okay, in all of that. So they all have different functions, and then they must be able to work together
Yeah.
to be able to achieve a singular result. That is what we call synergy,
Yes.
and that is what we talk to them about.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time this morning. That's Chief Darlington Moro, a security expert. He joins us from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for your thoughts this morning.
My pleasure being here any day, anytime, my service to the country.
Yeah.